Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Welcome back to the Greetery YouTube channel. This week we are showcasing our new Hint of Autumn collection through lots of how-to videos. In this video, I'll be showcasing our Autumn Herbarium stamp and stencil set, embossing folder, and die, as well as a couple other coordinating products. So let's get started and check out this beautiful new set. So the Autumn Herbarium set is a combo of red rubber and 3 stencils. These come together as a set. So we're going to go ahead and start off by stamping the image. The red rubber stamp includes all of the really pretty detail, the leaf veins and some other little details. Super gorgeous. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that. I'm going to put it in my MISTI. I'm actually going to start off with an A2 panel of cardstock, and I'll put that down in the lower left corner of my MISTI and go ahead and position my rubber stamp over the top. Close my lid to secure, and then we'll go ahead and ink that up with some dark brown ink. Go ahead and close my lid to stamp that image. And I'm going to repeat that process to get a nice, dark, crisp image. So there we have all of the details stamped. Before we do the stenciling, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to emboss this with the Autumn Herbarium embossing folder. This is such a gorgeous folder. It's kind of pretty just on its own. I kind of like the folder on its own. So I have a little tip for you. When you're embossing a panel such as this one, what can happen sometimes as it runs through your machine is that you think you have it all lined up, and then the pressure from your embossing machine kind of likes to tend to pull the cardstock down inside the folder as it's going through your machine. So what happens is sometimes the top part will be nicely lined up, but then by the time it gets to the end and the bottom part of the panel, things can get a little bit distorted. So if you get one thing out of this video today, I think it's going to be this tip that I'm about to share here about embossing panels. So I'm going to go ahead and put my panel inside my embossing folder. I'm going to make sure that everything's nicely lined up. So you will see on the folder, there are all of the details, the leaf veins and the stems, just like they are on the stamped image. And so when you get it nicely lined up, you will see that those details really line up really nice with the embossing folder. They're almost going to kind of disappear when you have it positioned just right. So I'm going to go ahead and then close up my folder. I have my Platinum 6 die cut machine all ready to go with my embossing sandwich. For 3D folders such as this one, you just need the base plate, your embossing folder with the paper inside, and then the top, this blue adapter plate. This is your embossing plate. So I'm going to go ahead and put that onto my platform. Make sure I don't shift things around as I'm putting that in place. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it through the machine halfway. So instead of going all the way one direction through, I'm going to stop about halfway and I'm going to back out, and then I'm going to take my plates, and without moving anything, I'm going to do the same thing, this time starting from the other direction. And we're going to again go halfway, about just approximately, you don't have to be exact, just halfway, and then back it back out. You do want to make sure that you're getting the center part of that folder is getting embossed either from one direction or the other, so that you don't have a spot in the center that is not embossed. So go ahead and take a look, and there we can see that it's really wonderfully well lined up. So next we're going to pull out the stencils from the Stamp and Stencil combo. There are 3 of them in the set, and we're going to add some color to our embossed panel. I created this monochromatic card set where each card is kind of one family, one color group. I love the way that turned out. It was super fun to do and really gorgeous. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna recreate something along the lines of this red one. So I have a mix of lots of different red inks. These are all Distress Oxide inks in shades of red and orange. I'm also going to pull out a deeper burgundy so you can see this nice range of color that I have, all in kind of the same color family. So I'm going to just go ahead and I will probably just speed up the video through this step of the process because I'm just going to be doing some ink blending, and I'm going to have fun playing with some different blends of different shades on each individual leaf. And there is our stenciled panel. I love how textured it is with the embossing folder. Before we turn it into a card, I'm going to take it over to my paper trimmer and just trim off some of these edges. So that panel is so gorgeous. I feel like we don't really need a whole lot else to finish off our card. I'm just going to add a sentiment onto a label. So I have a label here that was hot foiled and die cut using our oblong octagons label set, which is also a new product, part of our Hint of Autumn collection. And I'm going to stamp it with a sentiment from our oblong octagon label stamp set, just a thinking of you sentiment. And then I will pop that up with some foam dots and add that to the center of our card. Then just add that to a card base. And you have a gorgeous fall card, and have fun playing with all of the different color combinations with those stencils and doing some ink blending. So just a couple other notes and tips about this set before I close out this video. For this panel, I didn't do the stamping. I just embossed the panel with the embossing folder and then used the stencils. And the stencils, the ink blending over top of those embossed veins, kind of gave those details all on its own. So we also have a coordinating die. So this die will cut out all of the leaves in one go. So while I normally would recommend doing the die cutting first and embossing second so that it doesn't flatten out the details, you can go ahead and emboss and then die cut. I did that myself a couple times. It flattens out the embossing a little bit, but it's not too bad. So that is one other option. Let's go ahead and run this through the machine and I'll show you. You can see the panel before. I'll show you up close here. And now we'll run it through the die cutting machine and you can take a look. So I'm just going to lay the die over the top of our stenciled and embossed panel. You can see how nicely that lines up. And I'll secure that in a couple of places here with some washi tape so it doesn't shift around on me. And here you have these lovely leaves all die cut. And you can see how I was able to die cut it second after the embossing, and it really didn't flatten it out too badly. It's a little bit easier to do the embossing first rather than having to position all of the individual pieces within the embossing folder. So I was happy to see that that worked out as well as it did. Just wanted to share one final idea before I close out this video. Another thing you can do is you can choose to not use the stencils. So for this set of cards I created, I used the stamp and I heat embossed all of the vein details, and then I embossed that with the embossing folder, and it just gives this gorgeous textural background. And I did this in a whole bunch of cardstock colors and created this gorgeous set of sympathy and encouragement cards. The sentiments on these are all from the Strength for Today stamp set, which I stamped onto oblong octagon labels and hot foiled those with the oblong octagon hot foil borders. Super simple to do and just beautiful. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this look at our Autumn Herbarium product suite and enjoyed the product tutorial, and I hope you love using this set. It's a super fun one to create with. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.